Palace. The German Chancellor Olaf Scholz is in Paris this Wednesday. He'll be meeting the French President Emmanuel Macron for working lunch at the Elysee Palace. The meeting comes as the two sides try to iron out differences over foreign policy, energy and arms purchases as the war in Ukraine grinds on. For more on this story, we can go across to France 24's international affairs editor Armen Georgian standing by. Armen, good afternoon. There's no press conference being planned after this so-called working lunch. Is that normal?
No, it's definitely not normal. I mean, France and Germany are very close allies, or at least they have been for decades. And earlier in the week, the Germans were saying that there would be a joint press conference. That was subsequently contradicted by the French presidential palace, and I've been checking this morning, and from my sources it looks as if there will not be a joint press conference. It is very unusual for a host to effectively deny a press conference to a visiting ally, and that apparently is what President Macron is going to do. There normally would be joint remarks between such close allies, but that doesn't seem to be on the cards this time. And remember that this lunch, this working lunch that's happening between Olaf Scholz and Emmanuel Macron replaces a much higher level, effectively, event which was supposed to be a joint cabinet meeting between the French and German governments that was meant to be held this Wednesday. That was postponed amid the various political difficulties between Paris and Berlin. And instead, I suppose, to show that this relationship still matters, to salvage something from the postponement of that joint cabinet meeting, this get-together between Macron and Scholz was hastily organized.
And Armen, what do Paris and Berlin not really see eye to eye on?
It's a combination of style and substance. So the French have not appreciated Germany going it alone, for example, on announcing an energy relief package without informing their allies in Paris. That really rankled a lot, and that led to Emmanuel Macron saying at the last EU summit that it's better when countries don't isolate themselves and when they coordinate with their allies. A very rare public criticism of a close ally. On the substance, there are plenty of disagreements as well. For example, on energy, there was this MidCat pipeline which Germany wanted, but France and Spain effectively scuppered that project. Perhaps the biggest differences, though, now are on defense. What we've seen is that the Ukraine war has really led to a kind of NATOization of Germany's security policy. So Germany is now developing much closer defense ties with the United States, buying weapons from the United States, and also crucially doing a missile defense project with 14 other countries, including the Baltic states, which are of course very pro-American, and the UK, which is pro-American. And all of this has been looked at with much discomfort here in the Elysee Palace, which really wanted Germany as a close partner on autonomous European defense. That's to say, to put forward and to pursue joint Franco-German defense projects, for example, on aeroplanes and tanks. But those kinds of projects require political will at the highest level, a desire for very close defense cooperation between Paris and Berlin, which is simply not there at the moment.
Armen, thank you very much for that. Armen Georgian reporting there from outside the Elysee Palace.